It's Tuesday. It's 8 o'clock. um, it's really cool out here. I mean, we are now in a cool spell, cooler. Um, I think most of the temperatures are going to be 28, around 28, as opposed to high 30s. That's really nice, really nice. It's about 15 out here, which is quite comfortable. As I was getting myself ready to come down this morning, I was thinking about Jazz, and she's sleeping a lot during the day in the back, just by the back door, near the back door. Um, and then we're keeping her in at night, so we close her cat flap, bring her in, give her some wet food, and keep her in at night. She's not using the litter tray. Well, I say litter tray, the tray that I set out with compost on it. But when I got up this morning, when I came down this morning, she wasn't waiting for me on the mat where she normally is sitting. She can hear people walking upstairs and gets herself sorted to waiting. And she wasn't waiting, and I thought, oh God. Um, and I went in to where my fleece is on the floor in Mark's room, and she was half on, half off that. As you know, just having been still sleeping. And I'm just thinking she's sleeping a lot, and that's worrying me. That despite being restricted and kept in all night, she's not actually that very active during the day. She does disappear in the evening and go off. I don't know how far she goes, um, but she does disappear a bit. But I'm just a bit worried about her. She's moving, she's moving around sort of slowly. Um, and today is only a week since we took her to the vets this afternoon. It was in the afternoon. So she's only been on the anti-inflammatory for a week. So it's probably too soon to go and, oh God, not a good time of day to be making a vlog when your eyes are still doing stupid things. Yeah, so that's her. We had a lovely meal. Oh, before I go on about the lovely meal, what motivated me to come out here was I just went and stood on the scales. Um, and I really haven't been eating that much. Went and stood on the scales thinking, oh, please, please, please. And it just went up another gram. And and I went, thank you. Of course you're going to do that. It's like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What do I have to do? Just not eat at all? Um, so we had a nice meal out with Joe, and being France and being Les Orangeries, it wasn't a big meal. I had gazpacho because the other choices were foie gras and gravlax, trout gravlax, and I can't do gravlax. I don't know whether it's yeah, I just can't do it. I love it. I had really loved it, but it doesn't agree with me. Quite quickly doesn't agree with me. So I couldn't have the gravlax, and I don't see what all the thing is about foie gras, and I don't like it. I'm not, of course there's the moral aspect, isn't there? So Joe and Mark had foie gras. Joe said she would have chosen foie gras, but it was expensive, and I went, just get it. We're paying. So they both had foie gras, and then there was lamb. Joe and I chose lamb. If there's lamb on the menu, I'm going to choose that. So I chose lamb, and that was served with half a stuffed courgette, a puree of something, and I had a couple of forkfuls of it, but I couldn't I couldn't place it, and I didn't like it. I don't know what it was a puree of, but I didn't like it. And some salady stuff. Oh, tomato. There was a large cooked tomato. I'm not that keen on cooked tomatoes. Um, so I had the lamb, which wasn't loads. It looked a lot on the plate, but actually it wasn't loads by the time you took it off the bone. Half the courgette, half courgette. Didn't eat the puree. And ate the tomato, I think, and there were a few cherry tomatoes on there as well. So that was my main course, and that wasn't very big. They had dessert. I didn't. I don't normally have dessert in a restaurant because it just, yeah, I don't. I used to, but it just spoils my main course. It spoils the savouries that I've eaten. So they had Mark had a um, chicken or poultry wrapped in phyllo pastry. He said it was okay. I don't think he actually enjoyed his meal as much as he has done when we were there last time with Jane and John. So they had chocolate, like a chocolate, small chocolate fondant thing, and ice cream, and I thought I'd have some cheese. Now I've been done that a couple of times in the week, had an apple and cheese or something and cheese, because that's helping my satisfy my hunger. I thought I'll have cheese. I don't, I said to you, it's quite shocking for me to have the cheese course. So, oh, what the cheese is your yes, please. It comes out, and I forget. And two of the cheeses on the plate, they're so tiny, and they're like that big. Three of them, two of them are Chev, and I don't like Chev, and it didn't occur to me. Didn't occur to me. So my dessert, my after my main meal, which was very small, was the thinnest piece of cheese you've ever seen, and I left In fact, I cut one of the Chevs, and I said, "Do you want to taste it?" No. Joe smelt it. She said, "Yes, it's Chev." So I had that small meal, and still I put on a gram. Um, I don't know what we had for supper. I think I had toast. I said to Mark, I'm going to have toast. I'm going to have Marmite on toast. But the bread that I have here that we put sardines on, it's very thin. And we normally just have one slice with sardines on, which is, I know it's carbs, but it's like not anything like the carbs we were eating. I said I'm going to have Marmite on toast, and that's what I had on Sunday. Yeah, I had that. Put on a gram. Wake up this morning. So yesterday, Mark was ill overnight, so I think probably with what we've been doing for 4 weeks, I'm thinking that the foie gras was just way too rich for him. Probably might have been even before that, but yeah, way too rich. So he was up several times in the night, and so yesterday I had, because he got up for a little while and then went back to bed because he just felt rough. I had 3 sausages, mushrooms, and 2 eggs. So that was my main meal yesterday, and it was too much. I had to leave some of the mushrooms. And then I did soup last night. We had soup, tomato soup. I did him scrambled egg later on in the day when he got up, without any adornments. I did it in a jug in the microwave, so no butter on it, just very plain scrambled egg, which would have really not satisfied me or pleased me at all, especially as they were bought eggs, because our egg supply is quite low at the moment. I had the last 2 eggs from Mrs. Brahma. Yeah. And so I put on another gram today. I'm thinking, what do I have? Yeah, well, I've done that. So yesterday, because he wasn't well, because he'd been up a lot during the night, and it was Bastille Day. I knew that if I needed to go and buy some bits from the shops. I had decided I'd buy eggs. We got to get used to that, because once these girls are no longer, I don't think we'll be replacing them, because we are unable now to do what they need to be able to clear out that shed twice a year and put fresh straw in and all of the stuff that you need to do. We're not really staying on top of it as we would have done in the past. So when they're gone, we're going to have to go back to shop bought eggs, and that's a bit of a shock. But so I just thought yesterday, I thought I'll buy eggs, so that, because we're eating quite a bit of egg products because of them not being carby. Having said that, I've only got 6 left now. So yeah, I went shopping. I took myself shopping. I drove the car and took myself to Intermarché and back, which was a bit of a shock because I don't drive. I haven't driven properly for a long time. I did drive one day. I said to him, I really should be driving, so I drove, and it was fine. But because I don't drive often enough, my confidence is much lower than it used to be. I used to be a driver. I loved driving. I drove without really thinking, and it was like I was a good driver. I believe I was a good driver, but recently I feel less confident driving, and that's only through lack of practice. And I think it's really wrong of me to sit back. I keep sitting back being a passenger, and I need to take up some driving and do more driving. So yeah, I drove yesterday. So I drove out yesterday. He didn't hear me go, he said. Went up to Intermarché. The roads were really quiet. Everywhere was quiet, but Intermarché was quite busy. So went in there and did a bit of shopping, and I bought cranberries because I wanted pomegranate. There's a Fast 800 quinoa salad. I can't remember how you make it. I know it's got a lot of parsley in it, and I know it had pomegranate seeds in it, but I can't remember what else it had in it, and I got to try and work that out because I thought I could make that one day, but I'll have to use cranberries because I could get a pomegranate if I went to Leclerc in Memorion, but up here, locally, there aren't any pomegranates, and oh God, that's because it's cold out here as well. I mean, this is part of my daily life. It's just constantly. I need to put something in my eyes to try and stop that in a bit. Um, so yeah, I need to work that out because that is a really nice salad and it is a way of using quinoa, which I hate. I really don't like it. It it. The problem for me is the food that's most satisfying for me is a protein that are mainly meat, not cheese, not eggs, meat. That's where I get my most. I'm most satiated by meat. If I'm eating carbs, then rice works, pasta works, noodles work. Quinoa, not really. Couscous on your bike. Isn't that funny though? They're all carbs, but only certain carbs will satisfy me. I feel like I've eaten. Whereas with quinoa and couscous is quite popular here. It's a I think it's a comes from Morocco, and well, most of the cuisine, that sort of um, cuisine from other countries. In France, the cuisine that they most replicate or copy is African cuisine, whereas in England, in the UK, it's Indian cuisine. So couscous is really popular here, and and they often do special evenings of, I can't remember what it's called now, but it's got couscous with it, and I'm thinking I wouldn't go off my drive for that. Yeah, don't give me couscous; it doesn't do it for me. So yeah, I went out and drove the car, and when I drove into the drive, I could see that Mark was up because I'd locked him all in, and the door was open, and I could see him standing in the window there. So I don't know whether he thought someone had stolen his car. Oh, so um, Vicky's coming this afternoon. She's going to take our old upstairs aircon machine. Don't know how they're going to have to get that down the stairs between them. Um, oh God. Somebody, sorry, I didn't check your name and remember your name. It's bad of me, but somebody has just commented, or recently in the last day, commented on my radicalisation vlog about Brexit. Patrick with a Y, P-A-Y. Patrick. I don't know whether it is a misspell or that you hit the wrong key. But just commented on Brexit and how he is, luckily because he's Irish by descent, he can move freely, so Brexit doesn't impact on him. So he says that we made the right choice coming to France, although that choice was made 19 years ago. He's going to move to France. He said Brexit is just is this as irritating for you as it is for me? Probably not. Um, he's talking about reform and the rise of reform, which is like the rise of the Nazis, isn't it? It's like how those sort of parties rise on the back of um, disenfranchised youth, enfranchised youth. So there's a lot of people who are not being taken care of by their government as well as they could be. Disabled people, young people, um, old people, old people. Um, yeah, are not being cared for by the state. They're being left on the edges. They're being pushed to the sidelines, and they're the sort of people that will then go and vote for reform, or think that Nigel Farage means everything, is going to do everything he says, which is like believing Trump. It's like, I don't understand how people can't see through these these big mouth narcissists and know that they're not going to follow up on what they've said. They're not going to do what they've promised they'll do. So yeah, Patrick is saying, that he's going to be moving to France, and yeah, I'm not saying it's perfect here. It feels perfect to us. It feels fine for us, but I think shut away here in the country, in the middle, not in the middle of nowhere, as you can tell, we're on the road. But it feels fine here. I don't feel that. Um, I think life is good for us. We're not working. We're retired. We get an income that we don't work for now. I mean, we paid into it all those years to receive it, but yeah, life is good for us. Um, so yeah, I find that quite worrying. And of course, my family live in the UK. I got my son living in the UK. They're about to buy their first house finally, because he was in the RAF for 22 years. They always lived in I can't remember, in quarters. I'm going to say quarters. I mean, they were just houses, but they were never in their own house, and they haven't been since he left. He retired 3 or 4 years ago. They've still been in a rented house because they just weren't in a position at that point to buy. But rent is so expensive in the UK. But just about in September, hopefully they're coming here in 5 weeks, and by the time they go back in September, hopefully they'll be moving in to a really nice house, not brand new, built in the 50s, I think. So pretty solidly built, reasonable grounds around it, reasonable outhouses around it, newish conservatory on around two sides of it. So it looks really nice. It's a house with character, and survey report is good, apart from some minor issues that can be addressed. But I'm really excited for them because they can put themselves into it and do stuff to it. And they're that age, aren't they? They're 40. It feels 46, and Becky's a bit lower, younger than him. So they're that age where they've got all that energy to make it a really nice home for them, and they're really excited for them. I mean, yeah, excited for them, and also very sad that about what's going on around them, in terms of what's going to happen with the UK government. God, it reform. God, it just doesn't bear thinking about. It doesn't bear thinking about. Chickens are still locked in. I don't know about them. I wish that I could let them out because they seem to have lost some of their joie de vivre, and I know that chickens don't do that. It's like they just live, eat, sleep, lay eggs, cluck, scratch. But they do enjoy their life out in the garden. Although there's not much greenery for them at the moment, it is really quite desperate, really dry. Yeah, but they're still locked in, so that's really quite sad. But it's, where are we? Mid-July, 15th of July. It's still too soon. I'll have a look online again at the life cycle of foxes and see, but I still think it's probably too soon to let them out. Um, that's it, really. I need to go and let them out. It's probably only about 20 past 8, so um, yeah, so cool. Um, yeah, oh, Mark's got his scan. Mark's got his scan tomorrow. He's not looking forward to it, obviously. Not the actual procedure because it's just an ultrasound, but not looking forward to it because we don't know what the outcome's going to be. And plus, he just hates it when he is in the grips of the medical, um, in a medical situation. So let's hope that that's an unremarkable result, his scan, and that we come away from that feeling a lot lighter. I've managed not to think about it, but then it's not me who's gonna have it. So I've managed not really to think about what it might be. I think I've convinced myself it was diet, and which is why we changed so drastically and quickly. I'm pretty convinced it was that. So I think after 4 weeks, that should have made quite a difference. So we'll see. Anyway, thanks for your comments. I'm gonna just go back in. I was starting to look at them and thinking I might go through them and at least acknowledge them. But thank you, and I'm sorry I haven't acknowledged them over the last probably only a week or two. But I just have always kept up, and it's not like I'm a big channel, so I should really keep up, but I haven't. Ah, ha ha! It's on the edge of this arm. I keep fiddling with it. The arm of the chair. Right. Okay. Thanks for watching. And I just was looking every time we come out when the sun's on the lavender, which is on the edge of the pond there. It's absolutely teeming with small, about that size, small brown butterflies. Predominantly the small brown butterflies. It's beautiful. It's absolutely lovely. But I know that if I filmed it, it just wouldn't. It wouldn't give it whatever it is that you give it, whatever. But you wouldn't get the full effect. It wouldn't really show up so well. But teeming with those butterflies, it's so lovely, and I hope that the flowers continue because eventually they'll fade, and then there won't be any need to be investigating it. Anyway, thanks. Okay, see you again soon. Bye.